Hello, how are you today? Welcome to my channel. My name is Carlos, and today I want to talk about how I create my sculpture of concrete. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to leave a link below. Basically, it was my sculpture I give for my mom of the Virgin Mary. It's around between 5'7", 5'8". I hadn't measured it yet, but it was a big sculpture, and I have so many issues, so many problems, and I want to share all my mistakes and everything. Let me tell you first that I didn't know how to work with cement. I didn't have any idea how to start. I tried to Google it, I tried to research, and I couldn't find much. No, a little things here and there that actually were confusing. And it was a challenge because also a piece like that, usually more when you see it on TV or when you know that they're creating a sculpture this big for a park or something like that. It's not cheap. So without the money, without the knowledge, just with the desire to do it, this gift for my mom. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. No, I told my mom, either I'm able to do it or you're gonna have a big rock. Let's start and let me tell you about it. I'm gonna tell you a lot of things so you can maybe learn and create your own piece. So the first thing that I want to talk about is cement 101. Cement, the way it works when you have that mix is when you put water, it will absorb the water to become stronger. And it doesn't cure right away. It can take years and years and years. No, the Roman created or at least discovered the cement, and you can see roads and even other things that they use cement on. They still exist nowadays. No, how many years, how many hundreds of years has passed, and they have it. That's an important concept because everything is related to water. If you put too much water, it will completely crumble. No, it will almost become sand. And if you put too little, it will crack. So it's important to know that you're gonna have like a decent mix to be able to create your project. And also depends so much on which type of mix and the weather. The weather is so important too. It can change how fast it cures. Or when I say cures, I talk about more how you cannot really work on it anymore. But like I say, it just takes years to really become really the strongest possible. Now that we have that out of the way, let's start about safety. It's so important because the cement absorb water that you use gloves. I use these plastic gloves that they're really tight and they kind of break really easy. So I had to use also the plastic gloves that you use for washing dishes. Those plastics are stronger and they're kind of better to use because they're kind of too big and everything. Maybe some people can do it, but I had some of the garden gloves that I used to. I decided to use all those three gloves. Maybe it was too much. I know I didn't need it that much, but for sure, if you have cement that touches your skin, if you leave it for a certain period of time, it will absorb the moisture. It will burn you. There's people, you can Google it, that work with cement and they have damage on their skin that is the same thing like a third-degree burn. So I have more respect to people that work with cement now, but for sure be careful. And if something like that happens, have a bucket of water close by so you can rinse your skin. And now, one of the huge important thing, I want you to create your piece or to inspire people to create their piece, but without any complication. No, the important is to have fun, to get your imagination out there. But working with cement, when you're trying, one of the mistakes that some people I heard they do is that they wash their hands, their dirty hands, on their sink, or they put the left of the water or the cement on their toilet or bathtub. That's a huge mistake. Never dump anything inside your house, nothing in your sink. You don't want the cement to go into your pipes because you're gonna create this completely ball of cement that is gonna clog your drain, and you're gonna have to fix it, and they have to open the floor, and you don't want a nightmare like that. So the best thing that I recommend is when you're working with cement, first of all, if you're not sure, work in small quantities. Cement does stick together. No, if you have a cement, the only thing you have, and you leave it there, and you want to put more cement, the only thing you have to do is spray some water, and you can put more cement, and it will glue itself. No, both sides are gonna absorb the water, and they're gonna be together. So you don't have to worry about that. You can work on a small portions, but for sure, just if you have leftovers or if just the bucket is dirty, the spatula, whatever you use is dirty, just let it dry. And you can, if you have like a plastic bucket, you'll see that if you squish it a little bit, everything will crumble, all that dry cement. And those pieces you can use it as aggregates for other projects, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Before I tell you about the mix, one thing that I want to talk about is two ways of doing, there are actually three ways of doing a concrete sculpture. The first one is to do it like me, that I just work on with my hands and mold part of it. And another one is to carve it with stone chisel things on rock. Is just, I had to use it for this piece. Not easy. I have respect for people that they do that. Not that easy like it sounds. And the third one is to have a mold. This is a silicone mold. I'm gonna give you an example here. I create this face with polymer clay. My niece painted, even if I told her not to do it, but she was poor. Then with that polymer clay, I created the mold, and with this mold, I did a replicate on resin. Actually, I did like 20. And with this same mold, you actually can tell that I still have some of the cement mix. I had this replicate. So this is a replica on pure cement. No, it's a little bit more heavy than this one. And that's a way you can do it, and it's really, 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 really easy to do it. Now you have molds and you can buy them online. Some people that sell sculptures made out of cement, that's exactly what they do. No, they buy the mold. You don't have to make it. I make this one, but you can buy the mold. You can just buy the mix and create like 20 sculptures and sell them. That's a way that some people do it, and it's not bad. But I like to create my own things. So now we're gonna talk about the cement mix. I have to say, and just as a disclaimer, that I didn't use a cement mix that I made myself. I use a pre-made mix, which give me a lot of problems. But you have options. You don't have to make your own mix. You can buy just already made. But let's start first with the cement mix. The cement mix, like I was saying at the beginning, I was trying to look for so many ways to do it, and I couldn't find anything. But lately, after months that I already finished my sculpture, I've been getting suggestions and other videos of people making their own mix, and it just amazed me how much difference are on recipes, and at the end they like the result is the same. Most likely just the way you work with the mix. But the more basic mix, it will be 1 to 2 ratio. And basically what I mean is, let's say that I'm going to talk about a cup, but you can use any type of measurement. I've seen people that they do jewelry, they take a spoon, and that's their measurement. So you can choose anything you want for your measurement, but just do the 1 to 2 ratio or the 1 to 3 ratio. Like I said, there's so many different things, and people talk about which one is better. So it will be something that maybe you want to practice or exercise and know and learn which one you like the most. But basically, it's 1 cup of cement. For every 1 cup of cement, 2 cups or 3 cups of sand, and that will be the basic. Just that, and water. That with that you can create your piece. But some people they say to make the cement stronger, you need to have an aggregate. Aggregate, like we were talking about the leftover of the cement earlier, is basically an aggregate is pieces of rocks. So gravel is the most common aggregate that they put on the premix. Some of the premix cements. It's not the only one, and like I said, depending on which one you get. But to me, having a gravel that is rocks that are a little bit bigger than the sand is really, really, really hard when you try to smooth things. No, you want to have a face smooth, you're gonna be able to see the rocks. So I suggest to find gravel that are really small. The best thing and the thing that I heard works is Portland cement plus sand. There's different type of sand. The most small sand that you can find is always better. But that's the basic. That with that you can create your cement. Like I said, I haven't used any of those. I think I wish I should have done that, not only to learn more and to explore, but the cement that I use, it dries so fast I couldn't do much. Actually, I wasted a couple bags because it dried too quickly. And that's what I'm gonna talk about right now. There's the pre-mix bag that you can get, but of course they're more expensive than just getting cement, sand, and maybe gravel if you want to use it. And before I talk about the premix, I have to say that all the suggestions that I've been getting, I learned that you can put not only the cement, the sand, and the water, but you can add a sugar, you can add salt, and you can add clay, not polymer clay, but you can add the clay like for ceramics and things like that to make it more playable. And of course fibers to make it stronger instead of the gravel. There's so many things that you can do, so don't rely on only one recipe, and just see what you have. Now, a lot of things I already had them, so it wasn't that hard for me, but just look around and don't be discouraged. No, if you don't have the exact mix. Let's start with the pre-mix bags. The first one is called Paitilla. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm gonna put the photo over here so you can see it. But this one looks amazing. I haven't worked with it. It's kind of expensive. Things from Australia, and it's just I saw a video of a person creating a dragon, and they created so easily, so fast that just a way to work for the details, it just amazed me. So I hope in the future I can get it. If I do, I will create a sculpture and show you, but I know it's more expensive, so it's not like the first option. No, it could be the best mix, but it's not the first option. Now the cement mix that I used first, and it was by mistake because I didn't learn, was Quikrete mix. In this one I saw so many reviews how strong it was and all that, but the problem is that it has gravel, and the pieces of gravel were so big that first of all, with a spatula I did the mix, and then I tried to mix it with my hand. Basically, when you mix, and that also I forgot to mention, when you mix your cement, one of the ways is you're supposed to create a ball, and it was supposed to hold its shape. That will mean that it is like a really good consistency, and that's a really good way to have your mix so you can start working. No, you don't want a liquidy, or you don't want too much water. Some people do too much water when they're putting into a mold, which I guess it could be okay, but like I said, too much water, it just make your concrete weaker. Now when you mix the water, too much water during time, it makes it stronger. Like I said, it's kind of weird, but it's an amazing process. So basically what I use, I used one bag for my base, but I saw right away that it wasn't going to work at all. I couldn't really use it I couldn't get that consistency as butter, and I don't know if it was because of the big rocks. But actually I did a mix. No, I did this polymer clay sculpture on my Ninja Turtle, and then well, that was a long time ago, but I have the mold, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna use the rest on this. And this is the cement mix with the big pieces of gravel. Of course, it didn't turn out well, more than anything because I have a bad mold. No, if I had a good mold, like you can see, it has a lot of bubbles. That could be because of the air, but also I had a big holes that I even took the gravel out. Some of the holes are because of the gravel. Like you can see over here on the bottom, you can see some of the big rocks over here. So, but it's possible, no? And it's really cheap if you wanna create a sculpture and you wanna just pour it into a mold. And if you are careful and kind of try to get rid of the bubbles, probably you can have something decent. And this bag is really cheap. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, but for sure not worth it for the sculpture that I was gonna do. So now the next one that I did is from Rapid Set, and it's called Cemental. Cemental is really amazing because it allows you to put the cement straight. No, that's why I bought it, because I say I don't have problems. If your cement is kind of buttery, you're supposed to be able to do it in layers. Like I saw these amazing artists from India that they did their mix. It was, I mean, they didn't say how, but it looked like it was just a simple cement sand mix, and they were just putting it so easy that I thought I was gonna be like that, but I learned it wasn't that easy. And with the Cementol, it had benefits. It was everything premixed. I only had to buy the bag and put water, and that's it. And I didn't have a lot of space, so and just I saw online how someone reviewed this cement, and they were putting things straight on the wall with no issue. So that's why I decided to use it. And the one thing that I really like also is that it was really quick on drying, but I didn't realize how quickly it was. And also when I was creating my piece, and that's something important that you have to know, is the weather. For me, it was from 98 to 104 degrees, and it was super hot. Not even if I had a vent, I was sweating all the time. The cement that this one's supposed to be like 30 minutes, it was like my first two bags, they were like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I wasted two bags because I didn't really have the time to do it. One of the things that happened with this mix is that you can find, like this one has its own brand, but you can have things that you can pour into the cement mix that will make it dry really slow. So with the Cementol, the same brand has the set control. For every bag, it give you like 15 minutes longer on time. I didn't get the 15 minutes longer because probably the weather and how where I was, but for sure it helps a lot. I could have not done this piece without these bags, and I used to put like half of the bag or sometimes the full bag depending on the mix, because it was something that I realized is you try to do small mixes depending on the consistency that you have. You're gonna be able to carve, you're gonna be able to, actually the way I did it in some of the details is that I put the cement and I waited like 4 minutes 3 minutes to make it dry a little bit, and then I was able to carve. I was able to try to do some details. But like I say, it's just experience working. Work with your mix. Do some a small project. Don't do like me and create the biggest project ever at the first time, but do a small project and you will learn how to use the cement. It's gonna be way easier. Now that you have your mix, now that you know what you're gonna use to create your piece, your sculpture, you need an armature. Like all my polymer clay, you've seen all my videos, I use a type of a skeleton inside to make it stronger, and also to avoid wasting material. No, in the when you use a polymer clay, it's expensive, so you don't wanna use completely have the full piece, and also it will crack. But talking about cement, not only you have the benefits of an armature, not to use that much cement, but also you won't be able to move it if it is a full piece. No, some pieces and parts and everything that are completely made out of cement, because there are people that they do it without thick armature. And when we're talking about that thick armature, I'm talking about that you can create an armature using like a rebar. No, there's steel metal that you, if you know welding, you put them together and that's your skeleton, and you can put all the cement and do as thick as you want, because I mean it's already the frame is metal that is going to be strong enough to support the cement. And the cement it gets stronger when it has something. No, if you have a block of cement without anything inside, it will break. It, cement doesn't bend. It's good for compression, but it doesn't bend. So if you have a rebar in the middle, like construction, they do that. You have a stronger piece. So for the cement, for the way I did it, I don't have a rebar. I don't have a machine to bend the rebar or to do the welding. So for me, that wasn't an option. I mean, it's really useful when you're creating like an scorpion, and you have the tail, and you have maybe you know that it's gonna be in a park. a kid is gonna be hanging out or playing. You don't want that to break, and I don't know, something bad can happen there. So you don't want that. So if your sculpture has wings or has something that you know someone is gonna grab, you have to pay more attention and have more reinforcement on that. So mine, it was a simple. I know it was gonna be just straight, so I didn't have that problem. So what I did, I found, and I think Menards. I mean, I was in Lowe's, Menards, and Home Depot on all this process creating this sculpture. One of the things that I got is this steel bars. They were really strong. I tried to bend them with my hands. I don't know exactly how much they support, but I choose those. I choose three of them, and I choose chicken wire. Chicken wire is your best friend when you're trying to create specific things. And also I choose another, we can say chicken wire, but I don't know exactly the name, but it's still a mesh. But it has small squares, and it's more stronger than the chicken wire. The chicken wire is not really strong. So actually on my piece I put the combination on both, and I put like 3 layers all around it. So I think I overdid it. It's really strong. It was already, being by itself, the structure, it was already really strong. I even tried to grab it and stand on it to make sure that I wasn't gonna bend or anything by the weight of the cement mix. And one of the thing also is I didn't want everything to be just a mesh. I wanted to be inside something that I was strong, but at the same time light. And sometimes what they do, I mean, the professional actually what they do is that they have a styrofoam. They buy it in small pieces and they glue it together. Or if they're a huge company, they will get like a huge square. You can actually get it from furniture places. You can go and say, "Can you sell me some styrofoam?" And probably they can. So that will be ideal. That probably will be the way I do it next time. And I had a few years ago, I bought a TV, and I kept the styrofoam that was with the TV to protect it. So I was gonna use it for another project. I'm glad I didn't use it, and because it was the perfect size and everything, I didn't have to cut it or do anything. I just put it in the middle. I used this aluminum wire. It's really flexible, very strong. So I use that completely the full. I don't know how many feet it comes, but I was able completely to go many times around the piece. Like I said, I was making sure that it was really strong. I not only attach things together, but I also just create another mesh with this wire, and that's why it was so strong. Make sure that your armature, no matter how you do it, the best way is to have the closest to your final sculpture, to have all the details. Like in mine, my mistake, I didn't have the face and I didn't have the hands, so it was really challenging to do it. So, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit, but to make it easier, the closest to the original is the best. For the chicken wire, I have to say it before I forget. I saw this kid in YouTube trying to do a sculpture with chicken wire. He used plastic gloves, from the one that you can use for this to apply the cement, the one for washing the dishes, and he had his hand all bloody because the chicken wire. I mean, they will rip those gloves, like when you're cutting it on the edges. They will completely scratch you. So easy to get a scratch, and it was insane to see this guy that he kept going. It had everything blood. It just was a mess. It was crazy. But the way I did it is I used my garden gloves, the one that I was talking at the beginning of the video, and it was just great. No, it was easy. I never had any scratch. So please use a good garden gloves when cutting chicken wire. How to apply the cement? Some of the trouble that I had is that I did my mix, and I had like 5 minutes to just put it on and try to sculpt it. Try to use my hands and then use my tools, and it was really hard because at the beginning I did a big batch, like I said, and I wasted 2 bags because the first one I said, okay, I maybe did something wrong, and the second one I tried to hurry up and I almost did it, but when I say wasted, more than anything is something that happened on the video that I didn't show, is how I did the face and the hands. And you can say a little bit I cheated, but it's maybe mainly I did other options. And what I did, what happened is that I tried to do the face, and it dried so fast I couldn't do the details. I couldn't do the details, so I had to chisel away the face. It took me almost 2 days to get. I mean, even if it doesn't get that strong right away, this one was super strong, super strong. I mean, right away when I noticed that I had to take the face away, I tried to do it. It was already dry, so I just like I said, I work on it, and it just my hands, everything was hurting. It was really hard. I had more respect. If you're doing something like that, make sure you have goggles. The rocks and everything's gonna go everywhere. You're gonna have it in your hair. You're gonna have it everywhere. It's a messy job, and it's just crazy. So have in mind that. So what I decided to do is I came to my house and I decided to just grab some clay. I didn't want to use polymer clay because it's expensive, so I had another clay so that it's cheaper, and I decided to do that to carve the face, and then have a mold and create the face on cement and just put it back on the sculpture, and that's exactly what I did. Like I said, you can combine pieces together. So for the hands, what I did is actually I didn't have much time, so I decided to cast my mom's hands. So I'm gonna put over here, it's just a simple casting kit that you can put for gifts. Actually it is, where you cast hands, but instead of putting the gesso that comes with it, I just put cement, and it took me a while to take everything apart. I was able to do that replica really easy. I just let the cement overnight, and at the next day I opened the bucket. Something that I did, I put a lot of supports. I put metal, I put wire, I kind of put some screws. No, I did some holes on the sculpture, and I put some screws so I can put the hands on top of it, and had a big piece of metal holding the hands because I was scared that it could break. Something similar I put in the head, so I put extra clay. When I put the face, everything inside was kind of connected with wires, piece of metals, but I think it works out. Like I said, I use all the techniques. I know I'm talking a lot in this video. I'm trying to follow something. I hope it's making sense, but if you have more comments, or you want me to do a video of something specific, or even show something specific, I'll be happy to help you out and do it. And something that I didn't talk about is, when you're finished your sculpture, just make sure to water your sculpture every day. I mean, it's amazing how strong cement can get, or concrete can get, if you keep putting water and water, and it slowly will absorb and become really strong. So don't forget to do that. Like I said, sometimes it can take years for the cement, the concrete, to get to their hardest. So just keep watering. I mean, you don't have to do it forever, but for at least 7 days, 10 days, I think it'll be good. And if you do something, please show it to me. Send me an email with your picture. I would love to see it. And I'm gonna keep working on polymer clay. And in the future, I may do more concrete sculpture. So please subscribe. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everyone that has subscribed already. And enjoy your art. And see you next time.